In the following video, I rescue a spider and take some photos of it. However, I messed up on the audio. While setting up the overhead rig, it came crashing down due to a failure in one of these adapters. I popped it back up, fitted it all back together, and I got on with the photo shoot. However, I didn't realise that the gain had been knocked on the microphone and I have blown out the audio. So I will apologise for the bad audio in this video and in Thursday's video. However, as you can hear, it's already been fixed, ready for next week. But enjoy this video where I go ahead, I rescue a spider and I photograph it. When I get up in the mornings and I go to the bathroom, sometimes there is a spider in the bath. Luckily for the spider, I like them, so I will relocate the spider. However, if the ladies of the household were to find that spider, he's as good as dead. This morning, there was one in my bath, so I have rescued him, and in return, he is going to do me a free photo shoot, and then we're going to let him go. So let's get on with the photo shoot for this. Now, I don't know what spider it is. I'll see if I can ID it. I'm going to take you through the whole photo shoot now. This is going to be a little bit more in-depth compared to the previous winter projects that we have done. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my platypod gear. We need to create a scene for the spiders to go onto. Right, so I'm going to put it over here so you can see me as I build it. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my Platypod Extreme and my Surrey ST20 ball head. I'm going to place that onto there, and this is the exact same setup I would use out in the wild if I needed to. Got a platy disc and a mini super clamp. Place that on there, place that onto my tripod head. For the scene, we need to be a little bit careful. This spider here is very nervous, is very jittery. He's going to run around all over the place. So I have a cupboard full of dried out material that I can use for photo shoots. Half of it I have found, the other half I have bought from pet stores. That way it's safe for pet spiders. We're going to try using this piece of bark here. I have a screw in the end here so that it'll fit into my super clamps. I think that might make for a nice photo. If he's running around and is uncooperative, then what we'll use is this piece here. I have no idea what it's called. I got it from a pet shop. It's got lots of little nooks and crannies for the spider to hide in. I want to fall back onto that last if this first one doesn't work, because lighting him when he's inside one of these little nooks and crannies could be quite hard. So we'll go with the first option, and we're going to place that into my mini super clamps. And then what I want to do is make sure that it's vertical. That way, when I turn it round, it's not bumping into the background. Right, so the background that we're going to use here, I'm going to use my backgrounds that you can download from my website. I have a perfect background for this, which I'm always using for household spiders. It's this one here. This particular one is from my Dark and Moody collection. The link in the description if you want to go and check those out. To set the background up, I'm going to use a platypod elbow. On top of there, we're going to put another mini super clamp. Place that onto our platypod. I can then put the background on there and then move it into position. Now, ideally, for this particular scene, I could do with one of my A4 backgrounds, but I haven't printed this one out in A4, so we just have to put up with it. And what we want to do is we want to try and get the spider to stay up here onto the top. If he comes down here, I might have to reposition him. So that is our scene setup. Let's talk about the camera. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you the EVF on this camera. It's on the blink and it keeps going on and off, and trying to concentrate on that and do the photo shoot and keep the spider safe is all too much. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to see the EVF this time. So for this shoot, I am using my Olympus EM1 Mark II. I've paired that with the Olympus 60mm macro and the Godox V350 flash, and the diffuser of choice again is the Cygnus Tech. I'm going to go for a single shot first. If he settles down and starts behaving himself, we'll try and get a photo stack then. But because I've moved him from where we found him, he's disturbed, he's stressed. I don't know if we're going to get a focus stack, but it's fingers crossed to see if we can. But to begin with, I'm going to use a shutter speed of 1/200 so I can cut out all the video lights. I'm going to go with an f10. ISO is going to be at 400. The native ISO on this camera is 200. With Topaz D noise, 400 is perfectly okay. And for the flash, I'm going to leave it on TTL. I've never had an issue using TTL, so we're just going to use that. That's going to be our single shot settings. So now let's get our subject out. Here is our spider. I'm going to get him out, place him on here, and if he starts running around, I'll put him back in the tub. Right, I'm just going to place him on top of the branch, and hopefully he will decide by himself to go on, and he has indeed. Nice. Right, he's running around frantic, so I'm going to keep this handy. And I will apologise for not looking at the camera all the time. That's basically because my main priority is the safety of the spider. Okay, so you're second best, unfortunately. He's just sitting there. Maybe I can get a shot of him. I might be able to get a shot on him if I go sideways. I'm going to grab my camera now, turn the cap around so that it's not bumping into my flash. Right, I'm going to set this to 1:1. If we get too close, then we can back off a little bit. Oh, there he is. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, he's sitting there quite happily. It's a bit awkward to do a focus stack, I think, though. We could try. Nope. As soon as I said focus stack, he turned around and decided to go for a walk. That's typically how it goes with spiders. So all we're going to do, again, with my mobile macro studio, I can just rotate him so I can constantly keep an eye on him. So he's never out of view at any one point. And I hope my new Sony camera is keeping focus because I'm not looking at it. Okay, stopped again, but he's upside down. So one thing I do miss from the Canon is being able to just turn my diffusers around, but unfortunately I can't do that here. Unfortunately, having to hold the camera in that position, I'm not going to be able to do a focus stack of him. He has settled down, but he's in a very awkward spot. So I'm going to bring this here, and I'm going to drop down this log just a little bit. Okay, so he's like that. Now I'm going to drop down my background, and hopefully he doesn't do a runner. I'm in a better position to hold the camera now. I'm going to try a focus stack, guys. So I'm going to turn on my focus stacking. I'm going to reduce the f-stop to 5.6. I'm at a focus differential of 1. I'm going to go to 132 on my flash. I'm going to do a single shot now just to check the exposure is correct, and then we'll do a stack. And that is basically just from experience. I know those settings work good for focus stacking. So we're going to do a stack now. I'm going to make sure my focus is set to 1:1. So it goes from high magnification to infinity when you're focus stacking, right? So you have to set it up for the nearest frame, and then it will stack backwards. We've got one focus stack. Even if you think you've got the images you want, carry on shooting. I'm going to carry on shooting now because the more you got, the better. I'm focusing just in front of his front legs. I'm doing a bracket, and when I see his back legs go out of focus, I then stop it. So you press your shutter once to start, and then you press it again to stop your focus stack. And you know, he's not moving. I'm going to take this opportunity and put the Nissi on. See if we can get a little bit closer. Again, double check it's at 1:1. Let's see how close this gets us. Unfortunately, I messed up then. I held my breath, so when I breathed out, I moved the camera too much. There's no way the focus stacking software was going to compensate for that. So I cancelled that one, and I'm going to go in again. And this time, breathe. Think I've got a stack that works. You already know that because you've seen the image, but I'm going to carry on. Oh, and he's moved. So he's on the move. So again, he's on the move. We will stop doing what we're doing and keep an eye on him. Now let's reposition the stick just so it's easier for me to keep an eye on him. I do believe that's going to be all we can get out of this photo shoot. The insect's welfare is always first at hand. When you've got such a small spider like we have here, focus bracketing and focus stacking is the best way to get the highest amount of detail. So I do encourage you to have a go at focus bracketing and then focus stacking because it can make a difference to your macro photography. But the cap gets turned around because we are finished with this photo shoot. I'm not going to let him go quite yet because we're going to try and photograph this spider now with the same setup but using my iPhone. So subscribe if you're looking forward to that video. But for now, that's where I'm going to leave this video. My name's Stewart Wood. I want to thank you for getting to the end of this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe and click the like button. It really does help out the channel. I want to thank my Patreon supporters for their continued support in supporting me and this channel. If you're interested in joining Patreon, then check in the description below this video for a link to Patreon. If you want to continue watching my macro journey, then click one of the videos in front of you now.